Okay. So exam 4 review. I'm hoping this one's not. I think this one will be easier than the last one. Last one seemed to have a lot of different topics. This one's not focused on really one topic, which is money, interest, and, that kind of stuff. Future value, present value. It's the same thing over and over again. It's just different types of interest formulas, different types of scenarios. But so I think this one will be better. Okay. So let's count the different number of numbers. 25 questions, and then we'll go through how many types there are, types of problems. Let's see if I'm out of focus here. Okay, 25 questions total. Let's see here. Okay, so if they don't mention what type of interest it is, I want you to assume simple interest. Let me get my calculator out so you can check a couple things. One second. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's right. If they do not mention compounding or continuous compounding, and simply say find future value, right? And they only give you, let's say, interest rate, principal, and time, then it's going to be simple interest. Approach it as a simple interest problem. So you have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 simple interest problems. I'm not saying they're going to ask you only for simple or the interest. They may ask you principal. They may ask you for just the interest, future value, or the interest rate. But when I say simple interest problems, I mean simple interest formulas. Okay. That was becoming a compounding type. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There appears to be 7 for a little approximate there. 7 compound, can't really read that. Interest follows. Compound interest problems. Okay. Ready? Now let's see. Okay. 1, 2. Actually, yeah, let me look it up before I might say the wrong thing here. 1 second. The section after compound. Where was it? Was I think the beginning of the annuities. Okay, so yeah. So let's see how many annuity-like questions there are. 1, 2, 3. About 4. Uh, about there's 2 annuities due. Remember those different formulas when they ask for annuities due? Slightly different. Okay. Slightly different. Okay. Okay. So that's about what? 5, 12, 16, 18. Okay, let's see what's left over. There's a couple of maybe 2 things left. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, let me rephrase this. Be more precise. Payment for annuity. There's a couple where they ask just for the payment amounts, but what is your monthly payment, etc. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 of these. Future value of annuity. And present value of annuity are the last two topics. So like again, remember annuity can be like a mortgage, could be a car payment, could be a loan. So annuity is a lot of different things, but the formulas will be the same. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, it's like maybe 1 APY problem. So about 2 or 3. Again, these are estimates. I don't want to spend all day trying. I don't want to do the exam too much, but there'll be a lot of points just doing the first 2 sections, which are really easy compared to the annuities. The formulas are a lot easier. I mean, so I would make sure you got these down, and then start doing the annuity stuff. Okay. Is there any types of questions that you want to go over? Are you guys comfortable with the simple and compound interest?
Is there any way that you could do maybe one example of it?
Yeah, let me pick one real quick. I'll grab one out of your homework. Okay, let's look at simple interest and compound interest. Do one of each, I guess. Okay, I'm going to share the screen here. So this is like these simple interest questions from 5.1. So you have like a couple of these types where they just ask find the interest or find the future value. So if they just say this, but don't mention what type of interest, I want you to assume simple interest. Okay. So let's do an example. So this guy here, number 4 from 5.1, they give me a principal. So find, let me write the question down, find the future value of this loan. P is 9882. R is 7.5%. Time is 16 months. That's what they said, right? Okay, don't need this anymore. Okay, so future value, right? We said is going to be P times 1 plus RT. This is the future value. Future value is equal to P times 1 plus RT. So that would simply be 9882 times 1 plus, I'm going to put a bracket there just so it looks prettier. 1 plus R, which is 0.075 times 16 months. So I can't use months. So that's 16 over 12 years. As long as you do that, you should be good. Okay, so what the heck is that? I don't know. So 9882, 1 plus 0.075 times 16 over 12. So it's 10,000, and that's more than I started with, so that seems reasonable. It's not crazy high. Makes me think that I'm right. Because it's only 16 months, so I shouldn't make too much money. If suddenly this turns into $1 million, okay, somebody messed up here. Hopefully the bank gave me some free money, right? Okay. So base calculator says 10, 870, 20 cents. Oops, I'm not typing. 10, 870, 20 cents. Cool. All right. So that's a simple interest kind of question. The majority of the problems in this section is the same deal. They just might ask you to solve for principal. They might ask you to solve for rate. Same with the exam. So in our question, they wanted the future value, but they could just ask you, like for example, they could give you the future value and not p, so you would have to solve for p. Okay, remember I gave you a list of formulas. I'll go ahead and give it to you again. Like if you have p, that would be equal to SV over 1 plus RT, right? You gotta find that guy. And if you want to find R, right, that would be, let's see, FZ over P minus 1 over T and T there. Let me make this pretty. I'm solving it right now. 1 second. That would be divided by P minus 1 and divided by T. Yeah, that's right. Make this prettier for you. I'm sure I did them already, but I'm just trying to have them here just in case. Okay, there it is. If you ask for time, that would be FB over P minus 1 over FB over P minus 1 over R, R, FB minus R over, actually, P, yeah, PR. Make that nicer again. Okay. You don't have to solve for this. You can just use the formulas. Let me check the PDFs to make sure they're on there. Yeah, here we are. I believe I sent this to you, right? So FV minus PV. Yeah, I called it P, but same deal, right? Over PT. So they have present value and I use principal, but it's the same thing. Time is FV minus P over R. Well, yeah, that's it. RP. All right. Anyway, that's pretty much it for 5.1. It's just you have similar questions like this, and you'll either find P, R, T, or FB, depending what they want. But they have to give you everything else. Otherwise, it can't be done. Do you have any questions on simple interest? All right, we'll move on to 5.2 compound interest. All right, so let me share the screen real quick. So right here, they mentioned the word compound in the problem. So as soon as you see the word compound on your exam, you should think, okay, I need to go to the compound formulas. I'm not doing simple anymore, right? Here we already know because that's the title of the homework, but in the exam, it's not going to tell you use a specific formula. You have to know when do I use which one. So compound is the keyword that tells you to use compound formulas, right? And it's going to be the same thing all through the whole section, except they actually solve for different things. Here they want to know how much the amount after 15 years. So this is future value, right? Same thing, future value, future value. Okay. Let's see, there's a different one. Nope. Here's an APY question. Another one of those. Yeah, here we go. Here's finally a different one. So 13 says find the interest rate with annual compounding. So this tells you it's a compounding question. They do it once a year, so your M would be 1. And you have present value, or present value or principal, whatever you want to call it. Then you have a future value, what it grows to. And then you have your time. So everything is here except rate. So you're going to use the formula for rate to solve for it, which I gave you in the past. So look at these formulas here. I don't think I have them in here. I think I solved them for you on paper though. Oh, here it is. So it is in the, wait, nope, this is simple still. Yeah, it's all simple. One second, let me find the compound PDF. You guys, I did send them to you, right? I can't recall. Okay, so here's the future value for compound. Future value, if it's compounded continuously, you use the E1. Yeah, I don't think I have it on here. I believe it's in your notes at all. Oh, check. Let me check. If not, I'll just create it for you right now. It'll take a little bit, but it's not too bad. Okay. That was a couple of days ago. That one. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. So I made these formulas for you. I don't know if you remember. So it's in the notes from day 9. You remember this? How the original for compounding is this guy, but I solved for rate using algebra. So I did all that work over here. So R is equal to this, and yeah, so we use that guy to find rate. Okay, so that you do have them. Okay, let's pick a question. pick this first one here, I guess. Maybe we can do the interest one after, see if it works. Okay, so example 2, find the compound amount for the deposit and the amount of interest earned. Let's take a moment. There we go. Okay, so they said that $17,000 at 4% compounded monthly. So principal, $17,000. Rate is 4%. I'm going to go ahead and change it to decimal. Compounded monthly, so M is 12. Time is 15 years. Oh, sorry, yeah, 15 years. So just leave it as 15. Okay.
Sorry, what was M again?
M is the number of times we compound. They said they compound monthly on the problem. So I picked M12. Here, let me write the extra part of the question. That way you can see. Later. They said 17,000 at 4% compounded monthly for 15 years. So P is 17,000, R is 0.04, M is 12, it's 12 months in a year, and T is 15. Okay. One second. Okay. So future value is equal to the present value or principal, however you want to think about it, times 1 plus I to the n. Remember that I is R over M, and N is M times T, right? Okay. So they said the compound amount is what they want, right? Compound amount. When they say that, they just want the interest earned. They don't want the total future value. But we're still going to use this guy to find the total. We will then subtract 17,000 from it, and we should get the compounded amount. So here we go. So that'll be 17,000 times 1 plus I, which is R over M, 0.04 over 12. N is MT, so that'll be 12 times 15. So that is approximately something. Let's see. 17,000 times 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 to the 12 times 15. Is that reasonable? A little high, but let's see. It did say 15 years, so I guess it's reasonable. nearest cent, I'm going to say 13 cents. So if I subtract that amount by 17,000, the interest should be 13,945 and 13 cents. Let's see if it works. $13,945.13. Oh, that was wrong. Find the compound amount after. Okay. I'm sorry. Here, let me show you. So I thought they meant compound amount was the interest, but no, that's just, it is future value. I was mistaken. So we found 394513, right? That's what we got in the calculator. So the interest would be what you subtract. So you subtract, of course, 30,000 by the original amount, which should be that 30,000 minus 17,000 should be about 13,945 and 13 cents. Yeah. Okay. So if you see the word compound amount, they mean future value. I was mistaken. You guys have any questions about that problem? Okay. One moment. Let's see if I can find the interest formula we were talking about. The next problem. I believe this is it, but I'm going to test it first because I don't remember if I double checked it last time. If I don't use this, then I gotta solve everything and then find interest. Okay, so one moment. Five, 4, 5, 8, 5,000. To the 1 over minus 1. Back to 8. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Yeah, so it does work. Okay, so we'll do this question and we'll try out this formula. That way you don't have to do it the hard way, the way the homework does it. Okay, so on this question, we're still compounding. Example 3 is find the interest rate for a $2,000 deposit accumulating to 2783 compounded annually for 5 years. Okay, so they want the rate. So let's write down everything that we know. So we started with a present value of 2,000, right? So that's P or PV. It accumulated up to 2783, so that's the future amount. 2783. Compounded annually, so M is 1. Years time is 5. So rate, interest rate will be M, which is 1 in this case, times FV 2783 over 2000 to the 1 over MT. 1 over MT would be 1 times 5, the fifth power, 1 over 5 power, and then subtract 1. That will give you the rate. Let's try it out. Okay, so 1 times 2783. No, I'm going to use the fraction thing so it looks prettier. So 1, you don't have to do this, but just so you can see it better. So that fraction to the 1/5 power, everything minus 1, close parentheses. So the interest should be 0.068, so times 100%. That would be 6.83%. Round to 2 decimals is what it says. Let's pray a little bit and hope this works. 6.83. Yes, cool. So yeah. So if you ask for a rate for a compounding question, I recommend you use that formula. It'll be easier than any other way, other than maybe the solver in your calculator. Okay.
And we're multiplying to 100 so that we can put it back into a percent, right?
Yeah, because in the calculator you can see it gets put as a decimal, right? So if they want it in percent, or if the multiple choice is percent, then you'd have to multiply by 100.
Got it. Okay.
But in calculations, you'll use that first one, not the second. And that's about it for 5.2. So you'll have present value, future value, interest. The only things that they will probably ask from compounding. Okay. All right. Let's save some time here, but we can do more if you like. But 5.3. Here is the future value, assuming there's a periodic payment. Right? We said that's stuff for like 401ks, IRAs, that type of stuff. Everything is still defined the same, I, N, etc. PMT was the only new thing in 5.3. So you'll have questions where they say, what is the future value of an ordinary annuity? So all you got to do is punch in the formulas, payments, interest rates over the number of times you compound, right? So compounded monthly for 12 years, so that'd be 12 times a year. That's why M is 12. So you have a bunch of these types. So all these are just find the future value, find the future value, find the future value. All of 5.3 was that. Would you like to do another one of those, or did they make sense from the lecture? for 5.3. All right, well, I would recommend you redo all of those that we did in class. And of course, do your homework. That should be enough to be ready for the questions on the exam. For sure, the ones in the notes, at least. Both will do best. Let's look at 5.4 then. You guys don't have much questions there. 5.4 was still the same deal, except we tacked on mortgages. The only difference was we added a new formula, which was present value. And I try to make it simpler for you because this one has all these condensed versions, like I is this, N is this. So I wrote it this way and try to make it easier to plug into your calculator. So I would recommend using this one, but you can do it this way if you want. But it'll still be annuity questions. The only difference is we want to know how much the present value was. Like we had questions like at the end of it, did they give you an investment that's paying you money, or they give you a loan or whatever, and then they want to know, okay, how much was the loan originally worth, or what was the original deposit or the starting point. So in this section, we found a bunch of present values over and over again. Then we moved on to payments, and we have like at least 2 or 3 of those where we ask the question. The test is going to ask, here's a car loan, what is your monthly payment? And then they'll give you a rate, periodic payments, right? Monthly payments. So M will most likely be 12 for stuff like car loans and mortgages. You have your time, etc. So you'll find out what is the original amount of your present value, and then they'll ask what is your payment. Okay. On this one, all we have to do was payment actually, but I don't think it'll be too complex. You did a mortgage, and they asked find the monthly payment, so we plugged in everything in using the payment formula, the same one as this, or yeah, same as this guy. So the monthly payment for this house was $1,007.35. So from 5.4, you should expect present value, meaning the original origination of the loan, origination amount, or the initial investment or deposit, and then payments. I think that is the only thing from 5.4 that you're going to see, because the rest will be future value, like how much money are you going to spend on that house, or how much money are you going to spend total on that car, assuming you know the price of the original loan. If there's any questions like these you'd like to go over, or are those examples enough? How do you feel about 5.3 or 5.4?
I'm sorry about the noise. Can we do one problem on this section?
You want to do the 5.3?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see that. Let me find one from your homework. Alrighty. Let's take a short break. 7:11. Let's come back at about 7:25, and then we'll start some 5.3 example. So this question is 5.3. It's the first one, I think. Similar to the first question. It says find the future value for the annuity with given payment and interest rate. So they're giving you the payment, they're giving you a rate that's compounded monthly, 4 years. So some of the questions will outright give them to you like this, and some will just, it'll be like in a paragraph where you gotta tease out these little pieces. Okay, so payment is obviously right there. Rates, it's 0.0175. M is for compounding 12 times. Time is 4 years. We know that I over M, which is 0.0175 over 12. And N T, which is 12 times 4. Let's see what formula we need here. This is a annuity, ordinary annuity, and they want future value. So future value. Payment times 1 plus I to the n minus 1 over I. Okay. So yeah. All right, so let's plug it all in. So we will get, let's do it down here, I guess. 2,500 times 1 plus 0.0175 over 12. Those parentheses to the n, which is 12 times 4, right? It's 1. It doesn't look very pretty. Over I, which is R over M, so that'll be 0.075. So let's go ahead. Okay. The fraction just said looks prettier than what I wrote. 1 plus 0.17. What do I do? Close parentheses to the 12 times down. So, bottom. Should be, let's see if this is right. Future value. 205.99. Yeah, that's right. Any steps that don't make sense. Basically, we did something like this. So they give you everything, and you just need to put into your form. A lot of these are the same. This one, they put into a word problem, which is not much different. Payments is right there, right? Couple
couple of deposits per month. So 3% compounded monthly. So we got rate 0.03, M of 12, PV, no, payment 708, T is 5. So you plug all this in, it'll be the exact same question. So 5, 3, it's different. Find the amount after 12 years, it's future value. Find amount in the account. Here we're solving for payment. So you'll use a payment form. Let's go ahead and do something like that. I went ahead and marked each question where they came from. So this is still 5-3, the last one was 5-2. Number 2 is 5-2, and number 1 is 5-1. 5-2, what we're doing the second one. This is find the amount of to be made to a sinking fund so that enough be present to accumulate the following payments are made at the end of period. So they want the payment. So let's write down the payment formula. This is still 5-3.
Sorry, can you say what that says? Let's say into a sinking fund so that
Enough will be present to accumulate.
Okay, thank you.
F times I plus I to the n minus 1. So we found payment. So we need all that other information. They went ahead and gave you the, this is how they first did. They said 65,000 colon or semicolon money earns 6% compounded Compounded semi annually. One and a half years. Okay. Okay, so it says enough, so we accumulate the following amounts. So the way it's written is sounding weird, but the future value is the 65. They're trying to save up to that using a sinking fund. The rate is 0.06. Semi-annually tells us that that is our comp. So let's double check. One second. Anyway, so M is 2, T is 0.5 years. 1.5 is pretty good. Or easier to type in the sheet. I is still R over M, so then 0.06 over 2. N is still MT. This is 2 times. Right, then plug it all in and see what the payment is, monthly payment. So FV will be 65,000 times I, which is I is R over I 6 over 2 divided by 1 plus R over M, which is 6 over 2 to the N, which is 3 minus. I think that's the hardest part is getting it in there, right? 65 6 divided by 2. 1 plus 106 divided by 2. Third. Oh, I guess it makes sense, right? Because they want, if you want 65,000 1.5 years, you better be putting in a lot of money. That's not much time. So yes, the payment amount to make that happen, right? As far as if you have time, you can use less money, as we've seen before. Okay, so you have a couple of payments, a couple of future value questions from I have any questions on the payment? Just remember you mentioned Carla, annuity, retirement, mortgage. It's all the same form. You just need to figure out what they want. So write down everything that you have, and then give them through. And then you just pick the correct formula. If you want payment, you use this guy. Future value, use the one from last page. Okay, let's look at. I don't think there's much to do because it's like the same type of. So 5.4. Here they're asking for present value. So it's going to be similar stuff, except we use a different present value. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, payments. I don't have any questions. So, so Fritz. Benja. That's his first name. Interesting. Benja. Buys a car. Costing 19,000. He agrees. Make at the end of each month period. Is 7.2% interest compounded monthly. Okay, so part A. What is the amount of each payment? That's going to be payment formula, right? So, check one thing. Payment formula they want us to use is this guy. I'm curious if this is different from the other. So I'm going to check right now. The other payment formula was derived from the future value. This one is coming from present value. So there's two, to mention this, there's two payment formulas. Let's check. So notice how this was derived from present value. I did some of these last something yesterday or on Tuesday. Back sinking funds. See how there's a different payment formula? It's almost the same, slight differences. So if you do not have a future value, but you have a present value, use the I just wrote down by 4. This guy. If you have future value, then you're going to use this one. So I'm going to write down both here. Two. Even though I've written them already elsewhere. It's just so you know. Similar, but let's see. See what I'm saying? Use this FV, not PV, of course, similarly here. Let's get back to that question. So we're going to use this one. We have a present value. Our cost 19,000. We have agreed to make payments at the end of each month, so that means that M will be 12. Pay every month. 12 times a year, it will be compounded. Time is 5 years of loan car. Pay 7.2% interest, compounded monthly, so rate is 0.072. And they set it there anyway, and the assumption based on payments. But there's all right, so I is R over M, which is 7.2 divided by 12, and is MT, which is 12. So there's new formula using present value. B 18,000 times I, which is 0.072, 12 minus I. 1 plus I, so it's 0.072 over 12 to the negative n. So that'd be negative 60, right? Or 12 times, negative 12 times 1. On your test, if you struggle to punch this into your machine, at least write this down so you can get it. So, I know semester struggle. Calculation hard. Okay. See, this is right. Let's see. Doesn't know. Right. That's more reasonable. Paying $4,500 a month, it better be some sort of value, right? Makes sense. 378.02 is the payment. Okay. So we're making this, so the periods, right? There's a total of 60 periods because there is 5 years, 12 months each. So just so we have the information, Fritz, will pay 378.02 times 60 months over 5 years. So 378.02 times 60. Approximate 22681. So they paid 22,000 total, or they will if they haven't. Part B said, find the total interest. Before we do part B, is there any questions on A?
If you still have it, can you show how you put that in the calculator? Because I tried it twice and it gave me something different. Let's see.
Yeah, you put the negative 60 in there?
Well, I got 37.801. So there was something, maybe I just forgot my decimal somewhere.
Did you put 19,000 or 1,000 in there?
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, it's in the zero. Thanks.
Yeah, that's okay. So we have total amount. If they ask you the amount of interest, you just subtract this from what you borrow, right? So interest will equal basically this amount is 22,681.20 minus the 19,000 that I borrowed, which money lose. Basically, give away in interest. Give away 1,600. All right. Is there any questions on? All right. Okay, so we'll stop here then. Do you guys have any other questions? This is 5 right here. Back to left. It's different. So correct. So much. It's the same as just the difference in there. Just different. Similar. Our loan accepted. So you have to subtract that here. Then you have the rest of the value. So it's the same deal. It's an extra step. Let's pay attention. Say they put it down. True. Test. So there's not too many topics. It's really just simple interest. So just go one by step. Simple interest. They will either ask for future value, or they'll ask you to solve for P, R, or T. I don't know which one would be one of each, or a couple of future values. 5.2 It's compounded month. It's a compounded interest. So future value formula is different, but they could ask you for present value, right? And the formula for present value. So it comes up. We already gave it to you. FV 1 plus I to the n. And then I gave you the rate formula, which is here. So they could ask for rate, they could ask for principal or present value, or they could ask for future value. Now 5.3, you'll be doing annuities with, you'll be finding the future values of annuities and possibly the payments. So remember, there's a different payment formula, right, for with future value. Now here, it was FV times I over 1 plus I to the n minus 1. So in 5.3, they could ask for future value, or you could also ask for the interest, which remember that means you subtract the future value versus what you started present value if it comes up. Okay, back to example 4. Example 4 says find the amount of the payment to be made to the sinking fund. So yeah, this is basically what I just said. It's the payment formula using a future value. And finally, 5.4, they ask you to find present values and payments using present value. So let's found it. Yeah, I covered all these topics. I do recommend. Well, I'd like you to do all the examples we just went over. Try doing without notes, and then try to do from all the lectures. Yeah, if those seem easy, should be ready. Okay. Guys have any questions?
What did you say the test was due? Due date yet. Let me check. Today's week. This is week 7. So it's kind of the last week. So I don't think I have to make it. Yeah, because yeah, I think it'd be best for Monday. You guys comfortable taking it on Monday? Maybe do Wednesday, but we're getting close to final exam time, so I like to do multiple things at once. So I'm thinking Tuesday would be final. Tuesday and Thursday are here. Saturday night is the latest I can get. There's also a video made by me and a couple of instructors. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Monday. So today is the 8th. We need this to be done. October 12th. And
and October 17th be the final. On the final exam will be a little more lenient or require you to show work. You can if you're concerned with actual commercial credit. And if you solve a question and don't show it, just give it to me better for the final. And I would replace the lowest test with whatever you make up the final. Also, I need you to finish extra credit level today. Can't take it. I can't take it tomorrow. This is like 10 a.m. Since it's, I don't know if you saw my message, but since it's a flex one, I wanted this Friday. So please finish it if you haven't already. Don't finish it and start. You guys have any questions?
Did you say the extra credit was due tonight?
I need it by tonight, tomorrow morning. Originally I said October 12th, but school said they wanted by tomorrow, so I can't keep it till the day for the extra credit. And again, the extra credit shouldn't take very long. It's just you just do your best. Just fill it out, and it doesn't have to be right or wrong. But attempt. So ideally, it'd be great
if you are unable to do that, write just this part, NRD core section testing. Preferably, I'd rather have the printed version, but since I'm giving you much time, I just found out yesterday.
You don't have to use the app. I can't remember what it's called. But the app that we do for tests, we can just do it in Canvas.
If yeah, I think you would have to print it and scan it back in there. Maybe if you can fill it out with PDF, that might be okay. Sure, this will let you. You can try though.
ideally it'd be better for me anyway. Better to just fill it out, put it back in, take it after your banner. They can send it to same stuff that they have stuff. But if you download it, you're able to edit your stuff. Maybe use it or something.